Hello, I'm Tippi Hedren. Some of you may know me from the big cats we've rescued and who are now living at the Shambhala Preserve, and some of you may remember me when I was starred in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and Marnie, but few of you know of my passion in the 70s involving making an incredible film titled Roar. That film was made by my whole family, which included my then husband, Noel Marshall, my daughter, Melanie Griffith, and my three stepsons, Joel, John, and Jerry. It took many years and it affected all of our lives until today. It was a deeply moving experience for all of us. Let me introduce you to the incredible people and the animals with whom we worked in the making of Roar. As you see here is the African house, and we're in the middle of remodeling it. All the stories that went on in that house were awesome and frightening and scary and delightful. All kinds of wonderful things happened in this house.
How it all began is Dad and Tippi went to Africa to work on another movie and stumbled onto this idea.
On the Gorongosa Game Preserve in Mozambique, there was a house that was abandoned by a game warden because it flooded during the summer. And it was taken over by a pride of lion. Largest pride in all of Africa. The lions were sitting in the windows, they were going in and out the doors. It was a Portuguese flat-style home, and they were up on top of the roof, and I mean, it was an awesome sight to see it.
When they got back, they wanted to make everyone aware of the plight of the animals and conservation issues in Africa. So they decided the best thing to do, Dad being a producer and Tippi being an actress, that they'd make a movie and that would get the word out best.
However, as soon as the trainers for these Hollywood acting animals heard that we were going to have maybe 25 or 30 big cats working together, they laughed at us and said, this can't be done. This, because of instinctual dictates to fight. And they suggested that we acquire our own animals to do this, introduce them carefully, and the first one was a rescue.
So we got a cub, and then we got more cubs, and then there were lion cubs and tiger cubs, and we just, all the kids grew up having lions in the house. We thought it was a very normal thing.
Oh, look it!
They're really friendly.
Several years of working with the cats, getting acclimated with them, living with them. Been, years of working with the cats prior to even any filming to do the kind of stuff, relationships we had with these animals.
And I first met Tippi Hedren and her husband, Noel Marshall, in their home in Sherman Oaks. How can there be lions in this house? And I was escorted to a bedroom that stepped down about 3 steps, and there was Tippi Hedren on the floor and Melanie, 3 lion cubs in the bed. And I think they stayed in that house raising those animals for a couple of years.
Yeah, wake up and they'd be chewing your foot. Walk in and when they grab the couch and lift it up, pick it up with their mouth. And you just look, wow. They get into everything. They rip everything up if they can. They don't take discipline well, They're just like your house cat at home. They like to play with objects that move, so they'll take the curtains down and the pillows they'll eat, and they'll gnaw off the legs on the chairs.
Probably gave them insights to all kinds of things that don't usually happen to young people.
we think of it very fondly. It was an amazing opportunity and something that was amazing to have grown up with and lived through.
This particular situation probably had no precedent. As it developed, Roar was one of the incredible sagas, epics of travail in the history of movie making. It actually became biblical in proportions.
You want to see where they filmed the movie Roar? Come with me. This used to be the river. On one part of it, we filmed it in all different parts, but this was one part where they could make it look like a long scene of the boat coming down a African channel.
I think we're sinking. Abandon ship. Hey, Mativo, climb out over that way.
Okay, right now you're looking at, these are storage sheds, but at one time the editing room came all the way out to here, to the storage sheds. And that big green building back there now is the office, and that used to be the kitchen, and then the editing rooms were hooked up to the kitchen. 67 lions and tigers, leopards, cougars, 1 cheetah, some servals, a jungle cat. This is the original cast member, Timbo the elephant, from the movie Roar.
Whole compounds would have to be constructed. In order to control many lions at a time, you have to, of course, contain them. But you have to contain them in a way that the cameras won't see.
So if you have 9 cameras that are all shooting at each other, they're in each other's shots. So then you have to camouflage the camera positions. And then sometimes you have to put fences up to corral the animals so that they can't get out of a particular area. Sometimes, so then you start camouflaging the fences, and you're camouflaging, and it just became very complex.
John and Jerry and then Melanie and Tippy, he'd surround them with lions and tigers in the middle of a fight. And, you know, action! And they're all standing there going, my God, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. And Noel's going, you know, keep filming, keep filming.
And this is all real. There's nothing separating us. It isn't blue screen or anything like that. Those are us. We did our own stunts with the lions. No one else was stupid enough to.
I had the barrel full of water. I go, she scares, I see she's hiding there, and then I'm stuck, so I get in this barrel full of water. Just to even get the lions to drink the water. They're not gonna drink on cue. So what would happen is we would have to leave them up on this hot roof for like 3 hours before we'd film. You give them salted meat, so to make them really thirsty. And then you'd start filming. Well, after they drank a bunch, then they didn't want to do it anymore. So you'd come back the next day, and you'd probably get an hour of drinking. I brought it to somebody's attention after the first month that we were going to be there a lot longer than any of us thought. And we all had a good laugh about it because we always figured we'd pick up the pace at some point. But it was not unusual for sometimes a day or 2 to go by that we wouldn't get a shot off.
You know, he had his pants off, whatever, to one of the scenes.
Come on, sit down here. Sit down. You're okay. Sit down. Hey, sit down. You're okay.
When they love, it is just all out. I mean, it's a powerful love.
Come on. Oh, yes. You have to go with your fingers. Come on. Oh.
But as quickly as possible, I get physically with them with no barrier, lay down with them so that they see I am absolutely not defensive. I don't suddenly have to react out of fear. Then we got over all the hurdles and we're able to talk and be friends and communicate.
Oh, come on, you hurt my hand. Why didn't you go with your friend? Oh. Come on, you should go with your friends. Oh.
They never turned on me, ever. What happened is if they were fighting and I was in the middle of their fights, they thought I was a lion. So I got bitten. I heal.
When I met Noah and Tippy, Noah was like a mad scientist, you know, like long hair, long beard, really wild with the animals, and Tippy was this beautiful, fragile creature, you know, very elegant and really nice and posed. And the two of them seemed like totally opposite, you know. And in spite of all of this, they were like, to me, a great couple, and they really liked each other, and I thought they get along great, you know.
Echoes of voices